Excuse me, could you tell me the closest mall entrance to Macy's? Have you ever been caught totally off guard by somebody who walks up to you and snaps you awake out of your daydream? Donna was. She had just gotten off work from her job at the mall, and she was tired. All she wanted to do, all she could think about, was getting home and relaxing. To make matters worse, she didn't like the sound of this young man who walked up to her. But she couldn't put her finger on anything in particular. And, she told herself, I don't want to be paranoid. So she talked to him. No, I don't know where the mall entrance is, and I'm in a hurry. He paid no attention. Oh, come on. I just need to know where to go pick up my daughter. Suddenly, the young man pulled out a gun. His buddy drove up, they wrestled Donna into the car, and they drove away. Miss Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters and friends, Donna had just become one of the 7 million Americans in 2004 who fell victim to violent crime. If you look around the room for a moment, statistically speaking, in the next 2 or 3 years, one of us will fall victim to violent crime. Maybe being a little paranoid isn't such a bad thing. When I say paranoid, what I mean is first off to be aware of your surroundings. Have you ever been approached in a parking lot by somebody who said, "Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to somewhere?" Sure, I have. But have you ever said to yourself, I wonder if this guy is using this as a trick to rob me or assault me? It's what happened to Donna. Personal safety expert Gavin DeBecker calls this little back and forth that you saw here an interview. Ted Bundy, the serial killer back in the 1980s, he used exactly that kind of interview with many of his victims. Donna's attacker was interviewing her. Why? To find out if she was aware of what was going on around her. Guys like him are looking to take advantage of somebody unaware, somebody in a position of weakness. An easy mark. Being aware of our surroundings, suggests Gavin DeBecker, is the first step in combating that advantage that they have. The second step is listening to your intuition. Have you ever had a funny feeling about something, or, as in this case, somebody? But then you said to yourself, it's probably nothing. That funny feeling is your intuition. And your intuition knows far more than you give it credit for. So does mine. In many cases, your intuition is your ammunition. Donna used that ammunition, sadly, too late. Let's take a look at that scene again and see if you can spot the point. Excuse me, could you tell me the closest mall entrance to Macy's? No, I don't know where it is, and I'm in a hurry. Oh, come on. I just need to know where to go pick up my daughter. Did you see what he did? He didn't take no for an answer. Gavin DeBecker also tells us that if somebody is not taking no for an answer, that's one of the strongest warning signals that they don't mean you well. With many of these guys, your intuition truly is your ammunition. Are you wondering what happened to Donna? After several hours in that car, being brutalized at the point of a gun, they pulled over and the gunman got out. The driver, his buddy, had an attack of conscience, and he let Donna run free. She was hurt, she was phased, but she was alive. My friend Jennifer had a similar experience, but with a much different outcome. Excuse me, could you help me out? Somebody stole my wallet. Can you please lend me train fare to get back home? Like Donna, Jennifer was taken totally unawares. In her case, in a dark metro parking lot. Like Donna, Jennifer had only one thing on her mind: getting home. And, like Donna, Jennifer's intuition was telling her that things weren't quite right. But, unlike Donna, Jennifer listened. She turned to the guy and said firmly, "No." But this guy, too, didn't take no for an answer. "Oh, come on. I mean, you don't want me to stay out here, spend the whole night out here by myself, do you?" Intuition? Yep, he wouldn't take no for an answer either. Jennifer looked at him and yelled as loud as she could, "I said no! Leave me alone!" Was Jennifer too paranoid? You know, I don't think so. Because when she resisted, he ran away as fast as he could. Her intuition was her ammunition. Finally, you might find that listening to your intuition gives you a little bit of a free gift. Jennifer feels greater confidence today because she knows, first off, that she listened to her intuitions, and second off, if anything had happened, she'd have been one step ahead of it. I told Jennifer's story to my 14-year-old daughter. She was 12 at the time. She looked at me with her big brown eyes full of a much greater newfound confidence. And she said to me, "Thank you for telling me Jennifer's story, Daddy. Now, could you take me to the mall?" So what's the verdict? Should we be paranoid? Well, please be aware of your surroundings. Please listen to your intuition. Just like with Jennifer, your intuition will keep you safer. It will give you a greater confidence. It might just save your life. Please, if you only remember one thing, your intuition is your ammunition. Thank you. Mr. Contest Master?